Yo, what's good? So in this video, I want to take y'all through the process of a normal client shoot for me. So everything from getting booked to meeting up with the client, behind the scenes, maybe my thought process, and even editing. I want to take y'all through all of that. I'm getting ready to leave right now, but before I do, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing and the booking process. So let's do it. So most of my bookings come from Instagram, and clients tell me all the time that they found my page using Instagram hashtags. So if you're wanting to get found by new potential clients, it's a good idea to use hashtags that are relevant to your area. So for example, if you're from Phoenix, using hashtag Phoenix Videographer on your post will help clients be able to find you. So for this one in particular, she actually hit me up months in advance and told me that she was wanting to get some social media content done. And I told her to let me know some more details and also let me know her budget. And sometimes it's a good idea to ask for budget rather than just naming your price, because even if their budget is lower than what you would have quoted them, maybe you're willing to work with them and you could still secure the client. And on the flip side, maybe they're willing to spend more than what you would have quoted, and then you can add more into the production side of the project. But anyway, she didn't have all the details sorted out, but she gave me enough information and actually provided some examples, and I was able to give her an estimate. And about a month after that, she locked in with the deposit. So what I'm bringing to this shoot, I'm trying to travel light, so I got the Canon R5C with the 24-70 f2.8, and I'm gonna bring my monitor because I'm picking up the homie, and we're gonna try to set this up on his gimbal so we can get a better visual of what we're looking at. And then in this small bag, I just have a few batteries and a small light and my ND filter. So that'll be pretty much everything.
But yeah, so this is the brand of the hair, so I wanted to like showcase the hair, like
Okay.
just like that.
For sure.
I'm gonna take the pins out.
You want to get that on video though?
Yeah, on
the pins.
video.
Okay.
And then I do have like jewelry here, so like if you could like capture that.
Yeah, I got you.
It's like name brand.
Got you. Right now we're finishing up the first reel. Pretty much what we did was just have her get out of bed, put her flip-flops on, then she opened up the shears or the blinds. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, and then we got some beauty shots in the bathroom. So pretty simple. We're gonna get a few more shots and then head to do the second reel. Just finished 3 of the 4 reels that we're filming today. We kind of ran into some complications down in the lobby because there was way more people than I was expecting. well, I don't know if I was really expecting there not to be people, but yeah, we kind of had to work around that. And then we shot in a separate lobby with less people. That kind of worked out a little bit better. But yeah, right now I am hungry as hell. My boy thirsty. But yeah, we got one more. We actually need to drive to a different casino for this next one. So I don't think we'd be able to get no food until after that. But that's just how it goes sometimes, you know? But yeah. All right, so it's actually been about 3.5 weeks since the shoot, and it's been this long because I was waiting for her to let me know the songs that she wanted to use for the videos. And she was actually concerned about copyright issues with the music, and so I suggested that she make an account on a site like Epidemic Sound, get a membership, and select her music from there. So she did make an account and she got a membership and she sent me her music selection. So now in hindsight, I should have gave her my referral link for Epidemic Sound so I could have got a little bit of credit there, but it is what it is. But if any of y'all are in need for music for your videos and you don't want to have to worry about copyright issues, definitely check them out. There's other sites as well, not just Epidemic Sound, but that is the one that I currently use. So if you do want to check it out, I will leave my referral link down in the description. So there is multiple videos that I'm going to edit for her, but I'm just going to show you one because the process for the rest of them is essentially going to be the same. And these are fairly simple videos. It's not meant to be heavy on effects or anything like that, but I will show you what I did and also go through the color grade. All right, so we're here in DaVinci now, and this is the video that I'm gonna show y'all. The first thing I wanna do is jump into the color tab, and we'll just select this clip. And right here, you can see my color grade. Now this is, or the way it's set up is how I've been doing it recently. And I also labeled each node so that you can better see what I'm talking about or better understand it as I go through it. And I will disable each one so that as I go through it, I'll enable it and you can easily see what each one is doing. And before we jump into that, I want to go back into the edit tab and just show you that I do have an adjustment clip. And usually I do add an adjustment clip with a light LUT on it. And the LUT just pretty much gives me a nice starting point so you can see without it and with it. It just adds a little bit of contrast, a little bit of saturation, and yeah, it's just a good starting point before I go into actually grading it. All right, so let's get started. The first node is a temperature node. So if I enable it, you can see what it does to the image. And essentially, I just go in here and adjust the temperature and the tint, the white balance, and also I may mess with the offset down here. And I just get it to a place that I like or that works for the particular clip. The next one is for exposure and contrast. So if I enable it, you can definitely see what's going on right there. So boom, that's disabled and enabled. And in here, I just come in and adjust the contrast, the pivot point, and again, just get it to a point that I like and that I think looks good. All right, so for the next two nodes, they actually go together. So this node is kind of dependent upon what is going on in this node, and I'll explain it. So for this one, if I enable it, you can see what's going on to the colors. And basically for this one, if you come down to the lift, I brought this down towards like the blue tealish type of color. And for the gamma, I brought it up towards like a warmish tone. And so you can see, again, what that does to the image. But if you look, the blacks aren't black anymore. They're kind of like blue. And for the most part, I kind of like my blacks to be black. You know, it depends on what you're going for. But for this particular one, I wanted them to be black. So if I enable this one, you can kind of see that correction. And basically what's going on in this node, if I come over to the log wheels, I basically adjusted the shadows to contradict or counteract what was going on in this node. So we brought that up towards like an orangish tone, and you can see the result. So the next node is for my S curve, and I'm pretty sure that y'all know what that is, but if I enable it, you can see what it does. And honestly, I didn't push this too crazy, so it's fairly light, but basically if I go into the curves, this is my graph. And the more that I push these, if you look at the image, you can see the more that, the more extreme it becomes. But again, for this one, kept it pretty light and I liked what it did. It just adds some contrast and a little bit of pop to the image. This next node is for the skin tone. If I enable it, let me actually zoom in so you can see. So that's enabled and this is disabled. Basically what's going on is, if I jump into here, come into the qualifier, basically I select the skin tone and that becomes what is going to be affected with the edits on this node. So I select the skin tone and then I come back here and I just added in some color boost. And again, it just added some saturation to the skin tone and made that pop out a little bit more. The next node I have here is for noise reduction. And this image is not noisy at all, but what it is doing is smoothing her skin. Again, this is kind of subtle, but you know, we don't want her face or anything like that to be sharp. It kind of adds to that beauty effect. So we have that going on there. I will disable it because it does make my computer lag. And then the last node, if I enable that, it is blooming the highlights. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe if I zoom in a little bit more. It's subtle, but it kind of brings everything together. So this plugin is called Dehancer, and I made a video on this a while back. Hopefully y'all watched that, but if not, I'll try to remember to link that down in the description as well. But this plugin is really good. So if you want to get, you know, vintage looks, or you want to add high quality grain, get that bloom, halation, film damage, stuff like that, this is perfect for you. The only effect that I added in was bloom, which is what I showed you. And it blooms the highlights, kind of acts as a pro mist. And again, it kind of brings everything together. So getting into the edit, again, this is not a complex video, but I will show y'all a few things. Now, as far as me selecting which clips I want to use, I'll literally just go through each one and select like a good portion from the clip and add that in. All of these clips were filmed in 60 frames per second. That way I can use some normal speed and then slow it down when I want, or just make everything slow-mo, you know, whatever I want to do. But yeah, everything is filmed in 60 frames per second. So starting at the beginning, these are just some establishing shots. So for this clip, I do have some keyframes here on the zoom and position. Basically, it just starts zoomed in, and when you get to the end of the clip, it goes back to the default. These clips here are just revolving shots done on the Ronin. And for these, I did add a little bit of stabilization just to make them super smooth. And I have them fading into each other. For this clip, basically, I started with this shot here, which is just 60 frames per second slow-mo, you know, just slow-mo of her walking. And so what I did was make a cut right here where I wanted it to slow down at. Essentially, I wanted it to be normal speed and then slow down. So at this cut is where it slows down. So for the clip prior, I come in and do Command R and I make it 250%. And that is normal speed because we're on a 24 frames per second timeline and it's a 60 frames per second clip. So it's basically just math. So yeah, we start off normal speed and then it slows down. I do want to point out these overlays that I have here, and these are just light leaks that I've had on my computer for a while. I don't remember where I got them from, but I felt like they were cool and added to the video. Jumping over here, again, this is a normal speed clip that goes into slow motion. And when it gets to the slow motion clip, all I did was, actually if we go into the Fusion tab, added in a transform and just did a zoom. Nothing crazy, but I did it this way because I wanted to add in motion blur. And honestly, I don't know if you could really see it, but in my head, you can see a little bit of motion blur and it makes it look cool. And scrubbing through here, a lot of these clips are just slow motion shots, beauty shots that look good. Getting back here towards the end, again, this is another normal speed clip that goes into slow motion. And another light leak right there. And that's pretty much the video. Again, it's not meant to be complex. It's really just a bunch of slow motion clips with some normal speed mixed in, beauty shots, and some light leaks. I do want to point out that this may not be the final version. She might want to make some changes to it. So there may be clips added in or taken out, but the color grade will stay the same. This was just my edit and what I came up with. So I'm gonna get up out of here. Go ahead and drop this a like, jump down in the comments, let me know what you think, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. It only takes a second, and I will see y'all real soon in my next one. Peace.